Gotta get dip. Gotta get dip. Gotta get dip. Gotta get dip.
Gotta get it. Divisibility rules is the number one thing to know if you want to be successful reducing fractions. So let's look at our rules. If we're going to divide evenly by 2, we have a number we want to divide evenly, and it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, we can divide by 2. Dividing by 2 only if it ends in an even number. If we have a number where the sum of the digits is a multiple of 3, so let's think of a possibility. What about the number 15? If I add 1 plus 5, I get 6, and 3 times 2 is 6. So the sum, adding my digits, is a multiple of 3. I can divide evenly by 3. If my number ends in 0 or 5, I can divide evenly by 5. If I can divide evenly by 2 and 3, I might as well divide by 6 because then I don't have to reduce multiple times. If the sum of my digits is a multiple of 9, then I can divide by 9. So just like for 3, I have to add the digits that make up my number, and if they're a multiple of 9, I can divide evenly by 9. If my number ends in 0, I can divide by 10. And what we have to remember is to reduce means to divide. All right, so let's practice some. I have 2/10. I notice that this number ends in a 2 and a 0, and both of those are even, so I can divide evenly by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5, so my answer is 1/5. Uh-oh, these are numbered wrong. Let's create a number 2. How about 15/30? Both of my numbers end in a 5 and a 0, which means I can divide by 5. I also notice that both numbers are a multiple of 3. 1 plus 5 is 6, and 3 plus 0 is 3. So if I were to choose to divide by 3, I would get 5/10. But that can't be my final answer because in this 5/10, it ends in a 5 and a 0. So I can also divide by 5. So there are not always only one step. Sometimes you have to do it multiple times to get your final answer. 5 divided by 5 would be 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Well, let's look at if we just started with 5. If I started with 5, I would get 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 30 divided by 5 is 6. But wait, both numbers are divisible by 3. So in this case, I also have to do it again, and I get 1/2. Look, in both cases, I get the same number. So different options lead me the same direction. But in this case, if I realize that 15 plus 15 is 30, I could actually divide by 15, which would give me 1/2. Hey, look, 3 different paths lead me to the same answer. Just remember, you have to keep going until you know you cannot reduce anymore. All right, number 3. I have 15 and 100, but these end in 5 and 0, so I know I can divide by 5. 15 divided by 3, 15 divided by 5 is 3. I'm getting ahead of myself. 100 divided by 5. Well, 5 goes into 10 2 times, and 5 goes into 0 0 times. So 5 times 20 is 100. Can I reduce 3/20 again? Well, 3 I know I can divide by 3. 20 ends in an even number, so I can divide by 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. That's not divisible by 3. I know that it is divisible by 4 because 4 times 5 is 20, which means I can also divide by 5 because it ends in a 0, and I can divide by 10, but none of those work for 3. So this is my answer. Last two. Here we go. All right, 12/36. For this one, I want you to practice adding your digits. So I have 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 6 is 9. So what I notice is both of these are multiples of 3. Therefore, I'm going to divide my fraction by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 36 divided by 3 is 12. Am I done? I can't be done. I know that 4 times 3 is 12. Since 12 is a multiple of 4, I can divide both by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. I can't divide 1 to be any smaller, and if I divide by 1, I'm going to get the same thing. So 1/3 is my answer. Let's look at the fifth problem. Again, I end in an even number, so I can divide by 2. If I add my digits, I get 9 and 9. Well, that's divisible by 3, 3, 6, 9. It's not divisible by 4 or 5 because only 90 can be divided by 5, but 2 and 3 means I can divide by 6. So let's try dividing by 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Ooh, what's 90 divided by 6?
90 divided by 6 is 15.
Well, thank you, Siri. But let's do it the long way just to be sure. Siri has it. Okay, but wait, am I done? I can't be done. I have 3 and I have 15, and I know 3 times 5 is 15, so I have to divide both by 3 to get 1/5. Now I can be done. I cannot divide 1/5 any smaller because 1 can only be divided by 1, and that's not going to change my fraction. Nice job. All right, so now it's your turn to play, pause, and repeat until you have divisibility rules.